Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad, and today we're talking to Washoe County Registrar of Voters, Andrew McDonald, coming up on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
No tricks, just treats at the Carson Valley Inn during the $100,000 Monster Pirate Treasure giveaways. Thousands in cash and free play giveaways every week. A monstrous $25,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. Don't ghost these giveaways. Halloween awaits at the Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. Our community is our foundation. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad, and I'm joined today by our Washoe County Voter Registrar, Andrew McDonald. Welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you.
It's your first time on Newsmakers.
It is. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I always love to beat Sam to the punch, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. So welcome, even though I shouldn't say welcome, you're actually from Reno, I think, even though you kind of took a circuitous route to come back. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I was born at St. Mary's Hospital, 1975. For those who want to do the math on my age, almost 50 years old here soon.
Okay.
But yes, I lived in the region. I was born here, went right back to Loyalton, California, Portola, Truckee, those small towns. My mom grew up in Loyalton. My grandma had 9 kids, and so we had a large family that lived in the Northern California region. But we came here on the weekends, movies, getting clothing at Park Lane Mall when it was still around.
Oh, yes, I remember Park Lane. I worked there. Yeah.
Meadowood Mall, yeah. So we spent a lot of taxpayer money here. Reno is the metropolitan area of Northern California, so we were in Reno quite a bit doing business, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you worked in San Diego and Las Vegas. Kind of give us a little bit about what you did at those two places.
Sure. When I was 19 years old, I went from community college in Northern California. I moved down to San Diego and decided I would go to school down there at San Diego State. So I went there for quite some time. I worked at the county of San Diego at 19 as a student worker and literally worked my way up. At one point, we got outsourced. The whole county's technology got outsourced, and I was in technology. So I got rehatted and rebranded, but still supported the county for 7 years. At that point, I just kept going, and I had a career down there. I did almost 20 years in San Diego. And so I was in technology for most of that time until about 2018, and then I went into elections. I got to the point where I felt like I needed more purpose-driven work. So I decided to go into elections, and I was the chief of election systems. And therein lies the whole Dominion piece. I did put in an RFP with a bunch of different team members. I led the RFP, but in regards to picking a voting system vendor, there were 3 that were available at the time. Dominion far outshined the others. And let's just remind the viewers that any voting system is certified by the state, whether in that case it's the state of California, here it's the state of Nevada, but they're also certified by the EAC, the Election Administration Commission. So you only have the choice to pick who you can pick within those very small groups of voting system vendors.
So yeah, I've heard that people thought you worked for Dominion, and you did not. You were just.
That is correct. I've never worked for Dominion. Okay. When I said I put in the Dominion voting system in San Diego, that's the vendor that we chose as a group to put in, and so I think that got misconstrued as I worked for them. I've never worked for Dominion.
So why does Dominion get such? I can't even say a bad reputation, because it's a very viable system, but there's a lot of concerns over the Dominion voting system. But is that just, there's concerns over any voting system?
Yeah, I think, thank you. There's a lot of misinformation about Dominion. I think other voting systems get a little less for whatever reason. West Coast is kind of high, more Dominion, whereas ES&S is a little bit more of an East Coast, I think, company. But either system, whether we used ES&S or Dominion, it doesn't necessarily matter to me. We have great partnership with Dominion. But I think they, based on some of the rhetoric in the past, they've taken the brunt of it, unfortunately. But I have full trust and transparency in our voting system through our processes, and I think we'll get a little bit more into that. But I fully trust the Dominion voting system.
Okay. So after San Diego, then you ended up in Las Vegas. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Love our Vegas viewers.
Yeah, I thought I'd try my hand out there. I had done almost, like I said, 20 years in San Diego. I have all my credits for Social Security, so I didn't need to have Social Security. You come to work in Nevada, you don't pay into Social Security if you're a government employee. So that was more on my paycheck. Also, the fact that there was no state income tax. So it made a lot of sense. It was a large county, just the same as San Diego had 2 million active registered voters, almost the state of Nevada, right? And Washoe or Clark County had 1.3 or 4 at the time. So it made a lot of sense for me to move over there. Unfortunately, I had to move back to San Diego. I had a family emergency, so things just quickly happened, and I stayed in San Diego. I worked for the Department of Transportation for several months, but I missed elections, and I wanted to get back into it. So when I started looking for jobs in elections, I saw the one up here as a deputy, and I'm like, you know what? Why not go home? I had been gone almost 30 years from this region, and everybody that lived in Northern California lives here now in Nevada because of the hospitals, the access to grocery stores, gas. It's very expensive in those small towns, so they kind of migrated out here. So I have a lot of family that is around me now.
Well, I hang out at that in Portola a little bit, and I've been to that IGA. I would take our Albertsons and Safeways over that IGA, but it comes in handy when you need a cold beer and some ice.
Well, and you mentioned Portola. So again, I in first grade, actually kindergarten, I was in Portola. My dad is buried in Portola. So my dad passed away out on 395, unfortunately, many years ago. But when I say I'm from the region, we have a lot of history and roots here.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have you back home
and
taking on a job that is really thankless. It really is. So, as I said, I was doing some research on how long have people been complaining about the elections, and actually I found out since 1800, the 1824 presidential election was called was considered corrupt. So we've been complaining about elections since we've been doing elections. So I don't think it's anything new, but ever since we've gone into mail-in ballots, there's been, I think, heightened concern. So kind of let's start, and I know this is going to be a long conversation, so maybe we should take a break first and come back to it, because I think this would be a long conversation.
Sure.
So hold on. Okay. We'll be right back after this.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Hit the road in style during the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 every week and a top prize of a 2026 Chevy Traverse or $40,000 in cash. It's the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad, and I'm joined today by the Washoe County Voter Registrar, Andrew McDonald. All right, this is going to be a long conversation, so that's why I wanted to take a break. What are you doing, and I know it's a big question, but what are you doing to show voters that our elections are secure and safe and that every ballot that should be counted is counted? And I'm thinking, because of the mail-in ballots, the signature verification process, what are some of the steps that you guys, not just you, but I think even prior to you, what are some of the steps you guys are implementing that make us feel more secure about our elections?
Well, first of all, everything is observable. We have observers in there since the first ballot is actually counted. Before early voting, observers are allowed into our observation area. They can come into our lobby. They can observe there too. So transparency is paramount, and is security. But one thing that we've done is we've built out an observer room in our mail ballot processing area so observers can actually see the process. We've also put in specific color coded of life of the ballot. So overhanging on the ceiling, you'll actually see ballot scanning is going on, tabulation area. So we've kind of specifically called out areas so the observers know where we're at in the process at any one time. We've also taped up onto the wall the life of the ballot so people can understand, again, where we're at in that process. George Guthrie, who's our media and production specialist, I call him really our PIO in elections, he spends hours talking to observers about the transparency, what we're doing, where we're at, answering any questions they may have. We've laid out the room specifically for observers to be able to see as best they can the processes, given that we're in quite a small area.
Well, that's what I understand. Yeah. You guys have had to actually expand that area, because I did send you over that memo that my friend Steve Baker put on. He had been an observer, and he said there are areas where you can't see the screen. So are you kind of taking some of Steve's observations and looking and saying, how can we improve? Yeah. And I'm sure he's not the only one that's provided you information. Yeah, correct. So we have relaid out the room as best that we can. Again, we are kind of shoeboxed into a very small area. I don't know if you've been down there or not, but it's been a while. But yeah, down. Mm-hmm. But yes, so certain screens are not viewable. We have a massive mail ballot sorter, and you can't turn it so the screen actually is visible by the observation, unfortunately. Okay. But the majority of it is, I mean, we have 4 cameras that are running 7/24 from early voting all the way through the canvas of the vote. Okay. So even when we're not there, the cameras are still rolling. And you can actually see that footage and video out on YouTube if you would like to go out and view anything that's going on there. Mm-hmm. And has that been since 2024, or is that after 2024? I think it's been previous to my time there. So I think a year or two, don't quote me on that, but yeah, before. But at least you had it in 2024. Correct. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So again, cameras, observation, talking to the public, all those things about transparency, I think are paramount to ensuring that voters believe and trust in our election.
That is what's important to me, and that's what's important to the voters, but also our staff. And our staff, so as we end the night, it could be 10, 11, 12, 2 in the morning. As we're locking up, there's only one way in and one way out. And there are observers waiting for us to leave and watch and actually see us locking the door, that we're not still working behind the scenes doing something in their mind potentially nefarious, right? So they're there when we get there, they're there when we leave. The whole operation has been observed the entire time that we're there.
So my husband and I were observers in the 2022 election, and we were actually at a voting site at the end of voting. We made sure that obviously anybody in line at 7 o'clock still got to vote. But we followed around, because we were able to, the site manager, and he had a walker, and he was pulling the disk drives or USB drives out of the machines and putting them onto this walker, and then he would walk away. And my husband and I are like, that is chain of custody. That should not be happening. So I went over and told the deputy. He came back immediately and started putting them into a bag that was like closed. Because I'm like, I could have dropped a USB drive right there and messed up your system. So it's not just what's happening at headquarters, it's what's happening at every voting site that we get worried about. Are we actually training these people who run these election sites to make sure they have good chain of custody of all those documentations and hard drives and all that?
I appreciate the question. Let me just go back to something you did mention. So if somebody did try to put a USB drive into infiltrate, right? If we plug that into our voting system, it would reject it. There would be nothing that it could actually do to read any kind of results, virus, etc. It just wouldn't even allow anything to transfer into the voting system.
Okay, that's good to know. I like that.
So there's security, chain of custody.
Okay.
But yes, we are training poll workers, and let's just tell you, I mean, we recruited over 1,000 poll workers in the 2024 election cycle. We rely on the public to conduct elections, and we train them as best that we can with the time given. I mean, we're talking, anywhere from 5 to 6 hours of training for the day, and they learn a lot. So they're entrusting us to train them properly, but we're entrusting them that they're remembering all this information. So the site managers and then also the assistant site managers at those locations, they have to have been a poll worker in the past before they can even graduate to a site manager. So yes, a poll worker can make mistakes. We're all human, but correcting it quickly and accurately and ensuring that the process has validity is very paramount.
So I did in the 20 election, my husband and I actually went to work for you guys, got paid to be working at a poll. And I was very impressed with the training. But I am going to encourage anybody out there who doesn't trust our elections, sign up to be a poll worker. I mean, how else better to do it than to be in the belly of the beast and watching what's happening?
I'm glad you brought that up. We welcome that. For the folks that don't believe in the security and transparency of our elections, please come work for us. Please apply. We do try to get people that have worked for us in the past first, just because that experience, right? But yes, anybody new that applies and we go down the list and we have an opening and they're willing to work for us, doesn't matter the political party you are a member of, we want everybody to apply. And by the way, out at those locations, we try to be fair and have as much Republicans, Democrats, NPs, etc., minor parties at those locations as possible.
Good.
We should never have a full Republican board, a full Democrat board, etc., out at the vote centers, and we do our best to spread the political parties out.
Very good. So signature verification, that was a big issue, more in Clark County, but still, how are you guys verifying that the signatures are correct?
Yeah, so every ballot that we send out has a unique ballot ID, first of all, and we know that we're sending that ballot to you, and that ballot is the specific races that only you should be voting for. So if you called up and said to me, hey, I didn't receive my ballot, even though you can track it through ballot tracks. If you sign it through ballot tracks, you can also sign up for informed delivery. Some of this is on the voter so that they know themselves, like, where are we at in the election? But getting back to your question, signature verification. So as that ballot travels back to us in a secured envelope that you should be securing yourself and signing yourself, right? We check that signature. It's called a reference signature through our mail ballot sorter, and eyes on glass is what I call it. Bipartisan, so the new what's going on this upcoming 2026, bipartisan teams of 2 will be checking signatures going forward.
Awesome.
Yes, so if that signature doesn't match, we don't stop there. If you've had 20 signatures on file with us in the past because you've re-registered, redid something with us, or decided to be a different political party, you needed to sign an affidavit, all those 20 signatures on file, we will go through and check every single one of them to ensure that your signature over time, if you've had a stroke or something happened, is changed, right?
I'm a little shakier nowadays, yeah.
Correct. So we check every single one of them. At that point, if that signature does not compare, then we will send out a cure letter to you.
Okay.
If you have a phone number with us, if you have an email, we will reach out in those vehicles too. But not that those pieces of information are not specific that we have to collect, mandated by the state, a phone number or email. So the best thing that we can do is send out via a snail mail letter to you to come back in and cure your ballot.
But there's been issues of, I remember a friend called me, said there's a bunch of people and they've got ballots and they're trying to cure them. And it was like a Democrat Party, Republican Party, whatever. There are organizations that are trying to cure ballots for their own party. Is that correct? I mean, is that happening?
So they can't cure themselves. The voter, him or herself, needs to cure their own ballot.
Okay.
So they can call us and we can verify multiple pieces of information. Mm-hmm. They can come into our office and prove who they are and sign a new affidavit or bring a photo ID to show that this really is who this ballot belongs to.
Okay.
There's multiple ways to cure. But to say that a third-party organization is curing ballots, I would have to have more information about that because it doesn't make any sense to me. There's really it's on the voter to cure their ballot.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. Our community is our foundation. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad, and we're chatting with the Washoe County Voter Registrar, Andrew McDonald. So your website's under construction. I saw that.
Yes.
And I also saw an interview with you where you were talking about vote centers. So let's first start. What's going on with the website?
Yeah, so our website's under construction because we want to make it ADA compliant.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
screen readers for the accessibility community, making sure our font is at least 12-point font, things to improve voter participation and have them understand our website is paramount to ensuring that accessibility is there.
And you have a lot of regulations, you have a lot of legislation, you got federal, you got state, you also have the local stuff. So you've got a lot of pressure on you, and you've got to make sure that you're following all these laws.
Yes.
But one of the issues here is ADA when it comes to the voting center. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, so the DOJ came to knock on our door at the vote centers, about 10 of them on election day during the primary. and did see that we were out of compliance on a few things.
Okay.
Ramps, door handles, etc. You got to remember, we don't own all these locations. Some of them are schools, some of them are Washoe County libraries, some of them are Save Marts, etc. So we are working with the DOJ. We're working with ourselves to try to find ramps, cones, van accessibility. We have a renewed focus on ADA to ensure that every single voter that should be able to cast a ballot can do it in the comfort of through a wheelchair or crutches or whatever may be their ailment during the time that they can cast a ballot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're also making voter list maintenance a priority too. And we're always talking about cleaning up the voter rolls. And our friend Chuck Muth, who has the Pig Pen Project, trying to clean up voter rolls. And, and he's been fighting with the Secretary of State's office on that. But you have the ability to clean up the voter rolls yourself, correct?
We do, and we do daily list maintenance that people may not know of. So if you move out of Washoe County to, let's say, California, you as a voter should be contacting us saying, hey, can you please cancel my voter registration? And if you don't do that, it's gonna that voter roll is gonna stay on the rolls for some time until we can get to you and inactivate you / cancel you. But we do bulk list maintenance in off years, and that's what we're working on right now.
Okay.
So what does bulk list maintenance mean? It means that you haven't voted in the primary, the presidential primary, the presidential preference primary, the primary, or the general. Let's say that those 3 elections, we work with the Secretary of State to send out, hey, you've been an inactive voter during this very important presidential cycle. We're going to send you a card saying, are you still here? Are you still around? Please send it back to us, right? And within 33 days, if we don't get a response back, we will inactivate voters. So we have a list of about 35,000 that we recently sent out to the community. And if we don't get back a response, or they haven't taken an action, they haven't signed a petition, they haven't taken their own action to say we're still here, we will be inactivating roughly 35,000 people by the end of this month.
All right. This is a longer conversation. You're going to have to come back, especially as we get closer to the election.
I would love to.
But thank you so much for coming on today. And I think more than anything, I want people to see who you are.
Yes.
That you're not some nefarious person who's trying to swing an election towards somebody.
Absolutely not.
That you're just here trying to do the right thing, and we appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'd love to come back.
All right. We'll be back. Believe me, we will be back before the election. All right. Thank you. We'll be right back after this.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
We wouldn't steer you wrong with the gold standard of steaks at Joel's Chop House. Indulge in dry-aged steaks, seafood, Wagyu tomahawks, and great views of the Strip.
Well, thank you for watching and listening. You can watch us anytime at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks.